Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. So, on Valentine's Day Eve,
Yes.
did you do the crossword?
I did.
And was it lovely?
No.
Was that because it didn't have the heart face in it like yesterday's crossword did?
Right. Yes.
Or was it heart eyes?
Heart eyes.
Heart eyes, yes.
Yes. Yes. No, it did not have that, but boy, it had just about everything else. This was a theme that just kept going and going. So yeah, it was an interesting puzzle. I enjoyed it.
Good. I did too. I didn't find it too difficult, although I made a couple of mistakes.
No, I didn't find it too difficult either. It solved pretty much as soon as I finished filling it in. It took a little longer, though, than a typical Wednesday. And I think part of that was because of the theme.
Well, that sounds like an excellent segue into discussing the theme. So why don't you go ahead and do that?
Okay, well, I will try. I'll do it in parts here.
Ooh.
First of all, we had 3 themed clues and a revealer. But then we also had, going down, 2 different sets of grade squares going vertically. And they highlighted 2 answers to clues that were basically the same. The first one was 7 down, and that was blank a gap. And the answer to that was wage.
Right.
And then 33 down was blank cap. And the answer to that was salary. So you had wage and salary. And they crossed the themed clues. Wage crossed the first one, and salary ran through the other 2. So the one that wage crossed was 20 across, which was just the word the.
What a great clue.
Yes. And the answer to that ran the length of the puzzle, and that was definite article.
Yes.
A definite article. Okay. So then the second one also ran the length of the puzzle, and that was 30 across, and that was talks frankly. And the answer to that was speaks one's piece. And that the S in ones was the S of salary. And then the last one was 44 across, success against all odds. And that was Cinderella story.
Right.
And the A of Cinderella also was the second A of salary. So you've got these 3 clues being crisscrossed by the words wage and salary. And the revealer was 60 and 63 across. It was a 2-part revealer. And that was, the clue was, where some journalism is located, or how to interpret the ends of the themed clues vis-a-vis the shaded squares. And the answer to that was behind a paywall. And so where the words wage and salary crossed the themed clues was between the words, and the word that was to the right of it or behind it was a word for some piece of journalism. You had definite article, and the word article was behind wage. And then behind salary, we had speak one's piece. Piece was behind it. And Cinderella story was behind it. So behind a paywall, you had these gray paywalls, walls with the words meaning pay, and behind them were words meaning some form of journalism, article, piece, and story.
Right.
So that was the theme, and it was a little complicated, but I figured it out and figured out, why why it was the way it was. And it was pretty clever.
That was ingenious to describe a paywall as just the word wage as a wall and the word salary as a wall.
Because those are both words that mean pay. So, yeah.
Well, when I was doing this, my first inclination was to write inside a paywall, because in a sense you're inside the sort of the system. But of course, the correct phrase is behind a paywall.
Yeah, I've never heard inside a paywall. But.
Yeah, neither have I. But it sounded right at the time, and it did fit.
Yeah.
And one of the letters was correct. The I of inside matched the I of behind.
Oh,
I liked that we started off with one across, mineral that shimmers, mica.
Mica, yes.
Because we had mica not too long ago.
That's true. That's true.
And then I also really liked 4 down. How will we ever get out of this mess? Any ideas?
Yeah, that was good.
And speaking of comedy, 5 down, satirist Michael Palin.
Michael Palin.
Yep.
Yes.
Or is
Monty Python.
Or is it Palin?
I think it's Palin, actually.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, of Monty Python fame.
Right.
Very funny man.
Yes. Apparently he's done a lot of travel stories since then.
Oh.
Or travel books, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah. We had 6 down, took me a while to figure out. Drive for, maybe, was a bet.
A bet?
And I was reading it as a bet because we had something that reminded me of casinos and gambling in yesterday's crossword.
Oh, yes.
So I just read it as a bet. And then because there's a group that certifies computer science departments, and you say that a computer science department is a bet accredited, I also thought it was that, but then I finally realized it's a bet as in you're the getaway driver.
Right, exactly, for a bank robbery.
But if you're driving the getaway car, you're more than a betting. You're a major player. If you don't deliver, everyone gets caught.
But you aren't doing the actual crime. You're just driving. That's not a crime. But
well, if you're driving with a bunch of criminals, failure to report. I guess that would be a bet.
A betting.
A betting. Okay.
Yep.
All right. We'll give it to him. Him being Philip Koski, the author of this crossword.
Very good.
12 down was brilliant. 12 down was some campus grilling events, ? Orals.
Yes.
That was a real laugh out loud clue.
Yep.
And the one next to it, 11 down, lizard mascot with a Cockney accent, Geico Gecko.
Yep.
That was fun. It was also a debut.
Oh,
There were 4 debuts in this crossword. Behind was one.
Oh.
Actually, even 3 down was tells private things. Confides in was also a debut, which was sort of surprising. And then we had exhaustion from work, and that was burnout.
Yep.
It took me a while to get. The B of burnout ran into 49 down, kind of lettuce, and it was bib.
Yes.
And I decided that there were too many B's, that Bib Lettuce needs to give it back.
Oh.
But it turns out that Bib Lettuce is named after John Bibb.
Yes.
You knew that?
No, but I just figured it had to be. Why would you call lettuce Bib unless unless somebody actually developed it?
Well, I mean, I shouldn't be so surprised that you would know John Bibb. But anyways, it is John Bibb with a B, so they're entitled to keep the B. Apparently he was a farmer in the late 1800s.
Oh, very good.
And said...
He makes good lettuce.
Made, I think.
Yeah.
Unless it turns out that Bib Lettuce gives you like infinite life. I don't know if that's...
No, I don't think so.
Immortality from Bib Lettuce. That would be a great slogan. What if any other companies have tried that?
I don't know.
Buy an iPhone, live forever. Or as long as the Apple product does, I guess. 25 across was cover story, ? Fib.
No, that's 26 across.
I'm sorry, 26 across.
Yep.
Yes, that was cute. And 26 down, not to go, was for here.
That's right.
Of course.
And that fib, that's kind of interesting because it was cover story, which is kind of a journalism phrase.
That's true.
But it wasn't used in the same context.
No.
Fib.
Yep. at the bottom of that sort of central area of the grid, we had 52 across, flowing slowly, seepy.
Seepy, yes. That's where I ended up, because I'm like, oh, it can't be seepy, but it was. So.
Well, and also, I momentarily wobbled when it came to the spelling of seepy, and because I didn't have the crossword solved, and 46 down was Ka blank, southernmost point in the U.S., and it was Lae, L-A-E.
I have never heard of that.
I was perfectly content to call it L-A-A and have seepy be S-E-A-P-Y.
Oh.
But then I looked at that and said, no, that is not correct.
No.
Get a grip. And so it went back to being E.
Yes.
But there is just something weird about that word seepy.
Yes. Yeah, it looked odd, but then that Ka-lay, I've just never heard of that.
Ka-lay?
Ka-lay. I'm assuming that's in Hawaii? I mean, where would that be? Southernmost point in the U.S.
I don't know. Did the U.S. take over Antarctica or something?
No, I don't think so. But I think Hawaii is
part of the U.S.
Yes, of course. It's
I wasn't sure. I'm a little wobbly on my geography.
It must be more south than the tip of Texas or California. So
I suppose we could try and verify this if we take a look at Apple Maps. Let's see.
Perhaps we can do that some other time.
This is an important question. Where is Hawaii? And looks like Hawaii is definitely to the, because Hawaii is pretty warm, right? It looks way to the south of
the
Florida.
Texas. Yeah.
Okay. I think.
Okay.
So.
Very good.
So one day I hope to go to Calais.
Yeah.
That sounds like a French city, Calais.
Well,
I think we should go on a trip first to Calais and then go to Calais. That would be magnificent. Hope the travel agent's ready for that.
And if they really wanted to make it a tourist place, they'd call it Calais, spelled L-E-I. So people would think they would get a lay there when they arrived. They'd have flowered lays everywhere.
Well, they could also just call it free beer.
Well,
they'd get more people. Wisconsinites would go there in droves.
Wisconsin, for sure.
Yes, that's right. No, it's a myth that Wisconsinites drink a lot.
No, I don't know if that's a myth.
Well, if they do, they can certainly hold their liquor.
28 down was interesting. When to wave the white flag. Bell lap. I did not know that. I am not a racing aficionado, but I did know that they waved the white flag. Isn't it the last, to tell people it's the last lap or something?
I didn't know at all what they were getting to there.
I think it was motor racing.
That's motor racing? And they call the last lap the bell lap?
They must, yes. Because I'm pretty sure they do the white flag to tell the drivers, okay, this is the last lap you're going to. And then they do the checkered flag when
you actually win?
When you actually win, yeah.
Do they ever do black flag when there are too many insects around?
I think there are other flags, but I don't know what
there's probably like a yellow flag for caution or something.
Well, yeah.
The Canadian.
Yeah, like if they want you to get off the track because there's been a wreck or something, or they probably wave a flag to begin the race. Like here's the first lap. So
I figured, don't they fire a gun, or is that for runners?
I have no idea.
That might be for runners.
I don't know much about car racing.
So when do they wave the Canadian flag? When it's like you're out of fuel and you need to get the very best octane, you want Canadian fuel.
I don't think so.
Wave the Canadian flag.
I was going to say when the race is in Canada, but other than that, I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to have to research Bell Lab. I find this. Well, I'm sorry, Bell Lab. I said Bell Lab. I was thinking of Bell Labs, which of course invented Unix and also racing in their spare time when they weren't developing operating systems.
Right.
I had a couple of places where I'd made mistakes. 57 across, builders of 25,000 miles of roads in South America. So I never know if it's Mayan or Incan. Turns out it was neither. It was Incas with an S.
Yes.
And so I had 58 down. Pesky little brat was an N not, as opposed to, if you end Incas with an S as it should be, snot.
Right.
So, but it seemed to me that builders, I guess it isn't correct to say Incan, or mayan.
Well,
I mean, because it's an adjective, the type of builders.
but it's plural.
It's also a noun, right? Because it's saying the builders. The builders would be Incas. But couldn't it also be Incan?
Well, Incan is more of an adjective, right? It was Incan buildings.
Well, it's saying the clue is builders. So you could say the builders are, I guess it has to be a noun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't have to file that in the same category as bell lap
No.
as needing investigation.
Nope, I don't think so. I think that is correct.
But bell lap was where I also ended up again because I had ball lap.
Oh.
I may have been thinking about some other sport. And so I had speak one as peace.
Uh-huh.
Or actually, I said speaks on as peace. And I'm like, okay, perhaps that's what you say when you talk frankly. And then I took a frank look at it and realized it was speak one's peace.
That is correct.
I think more people say speak one's mind. Although I've definitely heard the phrase speak your peace.
Yes, I've heard that.
We had 51 down. 51 down was shade in a barren landscape. And I went for oasis because it was 5 letters and it looked like it was going to fit.
I didn't even think of that.
Yep. It was wrong, so it's good that you didn't.
Uh-huh. Ochre.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that how it's pronounced?
I believe so, yeah.
So if you ever had like an ogre with an ochre tan, that would be it would be an ochre ogre.
Well, that's true.
Oh, I can't wait to do something with that. I have no idea what. It should be in a crossword.
Mm-hmm.
And Philip Kosky is halfway there, having gotten ochre in there.
Yep.
Ochre runs into 67 across, and I've had this problem before. Green sauces, and I'm always thinking it's some exotic Mexican dish, and it's pestos.
Pestos, yes.
I don't remember ever seeing pestos in the plural. That was a bit of a surprise.
Well, no, that's true. It's usually just pesto.
Right.
This said green sauces, so.
Pass the pestos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you need more than one, unless it's really great pesto sauce. It's like, bring all the bowls here that you have at the table. I plan to consume all of them.
All the pestos.
We were talking about dolls in a very recent crossword.
Yep.
And Ken's back, 43 across, doll who debuted in swim trunks.
That's right.
That was Ken.
Ken.
Yeah, at first I was thinking it was going to be Barbie, but I guess she was wearing, what did she debut in?
In a swimsuit.
Did she really?
Mm-hmm. One piece.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Black and white stripe.
Very modest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 55 down was gives up the goods, sells.
Right. Well, pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm. It was, but I thought just nicely clued.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
All right. Well, I think that is it for today. So thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks for helping make this one of the most popular podcasts about the New York Times crossword to come out of Northeast Wisconsin, where it is now currently completely buried in snow.
Yep, and it's pretty cold.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. So best time to come visit.
Yep. There's no one else here.
That's right. Ice fishing like you wouldn't believe.
That is right.
And plenty of
skating.
Snowmobiling.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Shoveling. Don't forget shoveling.
Oh,
There's lots of that.
Snowshoeing.
Yes.
Uh-huh. All that good stuff.
And if you find that boring, you can always come and watch us do the podcast.
Exactly.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow, a.k.a. Thursday's crossword. Watch out for rebuses tomorrow.
Bye-bye.